Just wait for everyone to come in. Hey guys, sorry. Yes, Merry Christmas for tomorrow and Happy Holidays. It looks like you guys are all with loved ones. I am traveling to the airport. I just saw my family in Vegas and I'm heading on off, but wanted to talk about the feminine energy practice. Some of you women are going into this practice and some of you are not. It is obvious when you are not, because your mannerisms are very American, which is very masculine energy focused. Because America is just a masculine energy planet. So you really have to, if you don't know it, and you're just given what America gives you, you're going to have a lot of masculine energy that's everywhere. It's not a feminine energy place. So a lot of people are doing the work and some aren't. So if you're someone who's sort of been looking into this, what does that mean? What does that creation, divine feminine energy mean? It just becomes obvious when people are not in it, women excluded, but they think they are because they're born a woman. Now you have some level of it, but there is a higher echelon to it. I've spoken about that a little bit more higher. And so sort of what attracted me to France. So I just wanted to talk about Latin dancing and how that really taps into it. There's something that when you do Latin dancing, that is the best form of sort of putting feminine masculine energy into practice that I think is overlooked as far as that's concerned. And it's really beneficial. I know when I do Latin dancing now, one of the things that you get when you do the divine feminine energy and you really tapped into your feminine energy, your hips become very supple and loose. You don't have any stiffness, no resistance, no impedance. And when it comes to Latin dancing, when that's all nice and loose, that's when you do the prettiest Latin moves that you can as a woman. And it really, that energy is really felt. Also, the other thing is that when you get with a strong lead, you can literally feel your nervous system calming down. Your nervous system literally gets soothed. You don't even know you're anxious until you get your next partner and it's a strong lead and you feel calm. You don't have to think for the other person. You could just follow, as well as just following as well in that polarity. That was something that before I was doing the feminine energy work and going into it and figuring out what it was and what does it mean to me. It was hard to follow. Now that I'm steeped into it, and then I started Latin dancing, it's a lot easier to just follow. So all these things are great. And it's funny, so I'm doing tango and I look at it the eyes of feminine and masculine energy. Tango is actually the most steeped in that because not only, so it's all energetic, right? So I'm learning these things about tango I didn't know. For instance, when you go to a tango match, you cannot ask for a dance and a guy can't ask you for a dance. You have to do it with your eyes, called a cabeceo. There's rules on if you're talking to another guy, he cannot interrupt. Or if someone wants to talk to you and wants to dance with you, he has to ask the fella who is in that little agreement, your protector, if it's okay. Not only that, getting asked to dance is also a wonderful practice of feminine energy, right? What are you wearing? What are you dressing? If you can't ask someone for a dance, in America, there's a little bit more loose about it than in France. In France, like the women came in, sat down by themselves, and waited, right? How are you attracting it? You can attract dancers with your energy. So how do you attract men? How do you versus chasing? Do you stare at them in a creepy way? And it's funny because I was like, wow. So I know when I was in France, just my whole mode sort of was attractive because it was different. I wear flowers in my hair. I wear florals. Like, it's just different. Like it just grabs your eyes in a very soft way. But it's so interesting how tango is the most practice you can get in masculine and feminine energy. There's a thing about people, especially in the U.S., because I feel like the men are less chivalrous in the U.S., so it's not like France where, like, a guy's going to dance with you because you're there, you're a woman, and the guy are more chivalrous, so they're not going to have you not dance. So you're going to dance, but in the U.S., it's like the men aren't chivalrous, so you never know. But it's funny how, you look up how to get to dances and work dances as a beginner or as a woman, as a follower in tango, and it goes down to feminine energy. They're like, well, I'm thinking positive thoughts, I'm enjoying the music, I'm really just enjoying myself, it attracts it. And I know when I'm doing Latin dancing, I'm not the prettiest one in the world, but you're sitting there enjoying the music on your own, regardless of them, and they like a piece of that joy that you're able to invoke. So I just thought it was just so interesting looking at Latin dancing through that lens of masculine and feminine energy, and how much you doing the work really opens you up to having the most partners, even if you're not the best, because you're really tapped into that joy of yourself and making yourself attractive in your own way, making your energy attractive, that it naturally grabs people. So super interesting, something I'm doing in France. So I like Latin dancing in France because it's more advanced. So here you might get 1 hour of like a course before the dance, right? 1 hour salsa training, and then they're having the course. In France, it's 2 hours. You get the beginners and intermediate. You go to 2 hours worth of dance instruction, and they don't take it easy. So I just went to one here in the United States, and they had to take it really slow because their audience is not Black people, right? It's like white people, older, younger. And the rhythm is different here in the United States. So like they had to go super slow. I had to leave. I was like, this is too easy, right? Especially being Black American, like you just catch on to dances real quick. Like that's not anything we have to work super hard at. For most of us, some of you guys are the exception. But then in France, like you go over there, they're not slow because French people actually have rhythm. Like they know how to dance and express themselves. And so it goes really fast and it's cheaper. So here in the United States, maybe $20, $25, $15, sometimes free. There it's 10 euros, 5 euros for 2 hours of advanced instruction. And then afterward, they have a party. And I swear there's like 60 to 200 people, right? So the people out there know how to dance. And that's also part of the French culture. They're really elevated when it comes to being accomplished is a thing. I don't think being accomplished is a thing in America. And what I mean by that, like being accomplished culturally, meaning there's something or activity or passion you have that you become advanced in, not just proficient. So I go there and there's so many good people and they've been doing it for 2-3 years. And it's not just one, it's not just a group of 20. You're hard pressed to get like big dance groups here. Maybe not with bachata and salsa. That I don't know. It depends where you're at. But like the turnout there is amazing. But like you're supposed to find a passion or a pastime you like. You're supposed to practice it. You're supposed to focus on it until you're good. So you go. So I actually really like it because it's really affordable, and you get 2 hours of advanced instruction. And these are people who've traveled all over the world to like learn their craft and bring it back. So they're actually good, you know. Because I think as an American, I have like really high standards about dancing because we are some of the best. But yeah, that's not hard to get. And um, yeah, and then there's so many people, and it's really inexpensive. So I go to France pretty much every month now. So I talk about it on my channel, Affordable Real Estate Investments, if you guys are interested, about how I do it. Now, I am now in a season of life where I live to travel. I don't live to work. So I do a little bit of work, but I'm not hustling 9 to 5. And it goes towards mostly travel at this point. Travel and Latin dancing. I really like Latin dancing. I feel really sexy and beautiful doing it, and I really like how I'm advancing and the fun and the social aspect of it. So I'm thinking that I will share and I'll post a link. But I was thinking since I go every month and I know all the places, I came up with like if anyone would like to go to like Paris with me for Latin dancing, that weekend, maybe 4 or 5 days. I'll put a link to it. The next one will be either March, April, or May. March might be too soon for you guys, so I might do April or May. The thing is, the plane tickets are going to be cheaper in March and April. And I'm just going to put it out there for whoever would like to go. I'll be like your guide for the 4 or 5 days. Taking you to all the spots that I like the most. It's not expensive because I do know how to budget travel. So this isn't luxury. So like I stay at like apart hotels, which are, so I have a price with like the places that I recommend that I'm going to say versus you can get your own. So I was thinking about 1,200 when I added it all up. Total 1,200, and that includes hotel, breakfast, 2 dinners for the 5 days, as well as. Hold on, I have to check my. Oh, don't tell me I just missed it. Going a new way to the airport. Get me up there. Okay, 64 West. All right. Yeah, I was thinking of doing it. I think I'm just gonna do. I'll post a link to those who want to come. This isn't like very expensive. It's like $1,200, and that includes like breakfast every morning. It includes 2 group dinners. It includes all the fees for going to the dancing, and me finding the coolest place. Like one place, is like they do it is on a boat. It's just like a boat that's not being used. So they have dancing. It's really cool. I really like it, as well as the social, and probably 3 calls. The call is just to meet each other and to connect. Second call is honestly, the instructions in French. So you're able to pick up a lot by just watching, right? And the instructors, everyone knows it's a little English, or someone who knows English will like mention it. But there's terms that I've learned, and I would want to do a call with that because hey, how are you? I'd want to do a call with that because like there's things that I'm learning, like pas a pas, step to step, pas à côté, step to the side, côté à pas à côté, right? À droite and à gauche. Tourner, lâchez la main, let go of the hand. So there's these terms that like you'll hear and you'll get used to that are pretty common that I've gotten used to, and I'd probably do that as well. So you can make the most. So it's not like, oh my God, I'm in France, I'm at these like dance stuff and I don't understand anything. Because like you can, just even if you don't speak the language, you can pick it up just by looking. But if you need more help, I would do a Google call just to go over that, just so you know what you're doing, and you would have access to like what hotel you're staying at, and you'll see that it's meal included. I found one place that's really cool. It's really budget friendly, but clean and nice, but 30 minutes for everything, which is really good, without paying those expensive prices. I'm not saying it online because I'm in travel groups in Paris and I don't mention it because I don't want them taking all of my cheap rooms. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll post a link to see if anyone's interested. It should be fun. Um, yeah, so I just want to talk about Latin dancing, the feminine energy aspect of it, what doing this work does, and some of the most, how it really polarizes it. And tango is the most really steeped in everything it means to be a follower, how to attract, how to um, just things that are really big on feminine energy. And like if you're doing it, I find that I'm catching on to tango a lot faster probably than other beginners because of it, but also just like the practice in itself. Like, how do you attract with just your eyes? You don't chase men in tango, right? How do you practice? Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I know the dates, but sounds like fun. What an amazing way to connect. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you would be connecting to your divine feminine energy and friends. And one of the calls I would do is just on how to get the cheapest plane ticket. I've gotten like flying cheaply in budget to a science and how I would recommend it. So I'd probably do 3 group calls before we started. One on just getting to know each other in budget travel. The second on like the dance step and some of the wordage. So if you go there, you can still catch on. You don't have to worry about not speaking the language. And despite what they say in France, like they do speak English. They just don't speak it to you if you speak it to them first. Like, but if you're in a dance class, which is a learning environment, and they're super helpful. But you honestly won't need much once I explain the thing. So yeah, it's gonna be Latin dancing Paris, and they do Latin dancing honestly really, really well. In America, we got the white people who can't dance, but like France are the people that can. Okay, so it's a whole different vibe. Love it. So those are the ones I'm hanging out with right now. So I'll let this one go. I will post links to that just to see if anyone's interested. We make I just sort of got the numbers together that would be feasible for like the total cost and whatnot. But I'll put a page together too with all the info. But I would love to see any of you guys who would make it. I already have my trips to France already scheduled for March, April, and May. So like I already know the dates. But it'll probably be a 5-day over the weekend. Um, Things like that. But like the Latin dancing in France is absolutely out of this world, utterly amazing because they show up, they know what they're doing, they're really fun, and it forces you to show up just as well. Like it forces you to really, like they're good. So like, like it's a beginner's course, but they got rhythm, and I think it's good to be around people who forces you to go up. So I'll post links about this on this video and maybe some community boards as well. So yeah, so that's it for this video. I'm driving to the airport. I'm flying to Italy and then France. I'm actually taking an overnight bus that was like $58 to France, but like it's direct, so it has no stops, which is really cool because I can sleep. So I'm going first for a couple days in Milan, and then I'm heading up to Paris, and then I'm going down to Marseille. The next video, I'm going to talk about updating on the updates on dating in France, now that I've been doing it for a little bit longer. How it's interesting because it's easy to find interest in equally yoked men in France because of all the social services they have, and what my opinions are and the difference between dating there versus dating in America, and like why I, increased my beauty routine to like date men in France, but like I didn't necessarily do that same uptake in my beauty regime to date men in America, and why that's the case, because you get a different product, right? So all right, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna jump right back on because I have 2 hours until I get to the airport. All right, hope to see you guys soon if you want to hop on. Bye.